It's officially 2023, but just like I rang in the new year fast asleep in my bed and avoided all the fireworks, I do not intend to enter this year with a bang. Instead, I intend to ease right into it, like easing into a warm bath. December in general, and especially Christmas, were super hectic, so I tried to stay focused on being present so that I could enjoy every moment as it came. And there really was so much to appreciate when I did take the time. My parents came all the way from North Carolina to spend Christmas with us, and all of my in-laws came over for Christmas Day, 8 adults and 4 kids, so there was joy in absolute abundance, and I am so lucky to have been surrounded by people that love me and who inspire me. There's a lot to be grateful for heading into 2023, including my writing practice and everything I achieved in the last year. I finished the sequel to my debut novel, and it'll be out in less than 2 months now. I also finished the draft of book 1, and I may have won NaNoWriMo, depending on how you look at it. But after a big chat with my editor in December, the future of Project Gilbert is a bit uncertain, and it's been heavy on my mind, even when I should have been celebrating and relaxing. And as much as I'd like to float in the stasis of the holiday period and snack on leftover Christmas cookies until the end of time, Christmas is well and truly over, and now it's back to reality and back to the problem at hand. Hey friends, it's the first week back at work, and I'm kind of struggling to get back into writing if I'm being honest. It was a really full-on holiday period. I know I mentioned before that we were going to be hosting and my parents are going to be here, and I think in future years I would do one or the other. Anyway, I did sign up to host a couple of sprints this week, but I did the first one on Tuesday, and it was my first time trying to do any writing in ages, and I didn't feel like I could. And the reason for that is because I'm still very much processing what I spoke to my editor about. So you came along with me to London to see my editor. We had lunch. It was wonderful. Met one of the other girls on the team as well. I was basically telling Jenny, my editor, about how I was struggling with the second book and to make it feel meaningful as a second book. Also wanting to make sure that all of the books in the trilogy could stand alone. And some of the issues that was presenting just felt really complicated to me, and I didn't want to get it wrong. And I was just really struggling with that. And I think you guys know that. You saw how hard NaNoWriMo was. I started over on book 2 at one point, and I still feel so good about book 1. Every time I think about how book 1 unfolds and where it ends and all of that, I feel so positive about it. But book 2, I just didn't feel that way about, and I still don't. And one of the things that we talked about was maybe that I'm holding on too much to the idea of it being 3 books, and maybe that wasn't the right number. And the more that I think about that, the more that I think that that's correct. So I am going to, you can tell I've really convinced myself. I'm going to be reducing Project Gilbert to 2 books instead of 3. And most of what I've written for book 2, which remember was over 50,000 words, is going to be scrapped. They were interesting stories, and I will definitely bookmark those characters and some of the things that happen there for a later project. But I think that for now, the right thing to do is to just move forward as if it's going to be a duology instead of a trilogy, which is super interesting. But I think it's going to make it better. I think it's going to make it a lot better. Yeah, so what I did in my sprint that I did on Tuesday was I just sort of thought for an hour about what I wanted to do. I did a bit of mind mapping, and I want to do a little bit of outlining, so sort of similar to the character arc stuff that I did with the Post-its on the wall. And I want to do that before I finish my book 1 rewrite, because depending on some of the decisions I make, I may need to make some minor edits to book 1, big changes, and I just feel tired. I'm just really struggling to get back into it in a meaningful way. So maybe it's because it just feels really insurmountable and I just need to put one foot in front of the other, but help. In the meantime, it is the middle of the workday, so should probably get back to work. I just am on the struggle bus for first week back. So, yeah. Anyway, okay, bye. Okay, so I think that's my booktube planning done for now. I did like a mind map, and I also did some more like plot outline-y type of notes like that. And yes, I use big A3 sheets of paper because I need lots of white space, literally, in order to do this stuff. That was really productive. I'm really pleased that I took the time to do that. It has definitely highlighted the fact that this is only one book, and that's not because there's not a lot to go into it, because actually I'm worried there's a bit too much, but it's more because the character arc is sort of one character arc. There's no good midpoint that could serve as a break between books 2 and 3 unless I were to do an absolute cliffhanger, and it wouldn't be satisfying because the character arc wouldn't be there. So I don't want to do that. I am a little bit worried about the length. I'm going to have to be really economical with the scenes that I choose to include, but I think it's the right decision to move forward with it as one book. And once I get the words on the page, then we can see what my editor thinks and what I think and what beta readers think, etc. There's really only one thing that came up that I need to change in book 1, which is good. If you haven't seen any of my previous vlogs, just to catch you up, I finished book 1 in the sort of late summer, early autumn, but I had started writing it in third person past tense, and about 2/3 of the way through, I switched to first person present tense, which means I've got about 2/3 of the book that needed to be rewritten. I have started on that, but I sort of put that on pause just for Christmas. I've got quite a busy weekend, so it should be good time for me to think about that. And then on Monday, it is routine time. So 2023 writing off to an interesting start. I did set a couple of goals for myself for writing for 2023, but I'm trying to keep them very gentle and very loose. The first one is I want to finish Project Gilbert. I think that's pretty clear from this vlog and my previous vlogs, but Project Gilbert should easily be able to be finished this year. I also want to really maintain my daily writing habit and to not fall into the pressure of increasing the output. And I think that as I create these vlogs, sometimes I can find that there's a little bit of a pressure to like be achieving more. And I don't necessarily think that that's healthy for me. So I need to make sure that my time investment is still realistic and still giving me plenty of time to sort of fill up my cup. I know that sounds a bit woo-woo, but I promise you it is really important, and I want to really safeguard that this year. Goal 3 is sort of a hangover from last year's goal that I didn't meet, which is to find new beta readers. My reading goals, however, are going absolutely swimmingly. I've already read 4 books and we're not even a week into the year, which is great. And I've been really enjoying it. And it's not just been audiobooks either, though a couple of them have been audiobooks, but it's also been physical books, because if you haven't seen my most recent videos, I'm going on a book ban for 2023, so not allowed to buy any more books. So the physical books that I've read have been off my own shelf. The audiobooks that I've listened to have been through the library because I was able to sign up to the library and was able to start using those books. I'm actually going tomorrow to finish my sign up so I can borrow physical books as well. If you want to see my updates and my roundups and my recaps around my reading, and specifically my reading challenge and my book buying ban, don't forget to hit subscribe, because I've got a lot of content coming your way this year about that. I know a lot of people want to do this kind of thing, and it can feel like, is that even possible? And especially if you're a mood reader like I am. So definitely follow along if you want to see that. But in the meantime, I've got a lot of thinking to do over the next few days. And by the time we talk next week for my next writing vlog, hopefully I'll be well underway with my book 1 rewrite. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.